So jumping into the first big change, the ability to dismember limbs. They had to find a good balance between cutting off limbs and it not being too graphic, and I feel like they did a good job with Jedi Survivor because now you can cut off arms, you can cut off legs, but it's not bloody and gory or anything. The wound instantly gets cauterized from the heat of the lightsaber, so it's not going to be too graphic, but it is going to definitely satisfy a lot of us crazy Star Wars fans that want to see the dismemberment. So the next change that we're getting in Jedi Survivor is a bit of a small one, and it's the fact that you get a grapple hook and you get it pretty early on. So for those of you that aren't a fan of the climbing and jumping puzzles, there's going to be a grapple hook now. So if you miss the ledge or you mistime your jump and you're falling to your death, you can sort of save yourself with the grapple hook at the last minute, and that's just going to be a great quality of life change when it comes to exploration. So the next big change coming to Jedi Survivor is the fact that we're actually getting side missions and side characters to interact with. There's going to be a bunch of different NPCs and characters you can interact with scattered throughout the environments. Next, we're getting 5 lightsaber stances. We're getting the crossguard saber, which is like Kylo Ren's saber. This is the big, bulky powerhouse saber. It's going to be a lot slower to swing, but it's going to do a lot more damage. We still have the basic lightsaber stance, which is going to be your default stance. Double-sided lightsaber making a return just like the last game. That'll probably be good for crowd control and taking out multiple enemies at the same time. Then we have the dual wielding, where you have a lightsaber in each hand and your swings and attacks will be a lot faster, but you are easily open to taking a lot more damage. And then the final stance is the blaster stance that I mentioned earlier, and this will give you the option to take out enemies at a distance. And even though there are 5 stances in total, you can have 2 equipped at the same time, and you can just sort of switch between the 2 of them on the fly. And then when you meditate, that is when you can select what stances you have equipped. Maybe you're dying to a boss over and over again and you need to change your stances. You can just meditate, swap out the stances, and then just go back into the boss fight and try it using a completely different skill set. So next up, let's talk about one of the biggest changes coming to Jedi Survivor, and it's the fact that you can actually use a blaster. But not only that, you can actually customize the blaster the same as you can your lightsaber. Now, we haven't gotten any gameplay of actually using a blaster, and a lot of the EA content creators that got to fly out and play the game early, and they all said that it works like Red Dead Redemption, where you have this sort of Deadeye move and you can just hit multiple targets at the same time. Now, this has already kind of been confirmed. For example, if you get the Deluxe Edition, you can make your blaster look like the DL-44, which is what Han Solo used. We are going to be getting a lot of brand new enemy types. Now, based off of everything we know so far, in Jedi Survivor, we're going to be facing more bounty hunters like we did back in Fallen Order. There are a bunch of brand new beast types and creature types that weren't in the previous game. We're still going to be facing many stormtroopers and scout troopers and a bunch of different variations of purge troopers again. But the biggest change that we're getting in regards to enemy types is that we're facing battle droids. So it is confirmed that we are facing the super battle droids, the B1 battle droids that can be one-shot killed. So we're going to be facing a lot of B1 battle droids. The droidicas just made their very first appearance in the latest gameplay trailers, and we will also be facing off against the commando droids, which is going to be one of the harder variations of the droids that you're going to encounter. And then, like I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of new creatures, such as the Wampa-looking creature, and there's going to be big boss encounters with creatures such as the Rancor. So the next major change is the ability to fast travel. Every time you come across a meditation point in Jedi Survivor, you are going to be able to fast travel to other meditation points that you've previously unlocked. So this might potentially be a good way to XP farm, is just fast traveling between 2 different points and just killing some enemies over and over again. The maps in Jedi Survivor are way bigger than they were in Fallen Order, and because of that, they have now given us the ability to mount different creatures. Now, obviously, this is going to depend on what planet you're on. It's confirmed that one of the planets we get to explore is going to be Coruscant, so that's really cool, but obviously it wouldn't make very much sense if you had a flying mounted creature or a rideable mount and you were just riding it around on Coruscant. Fingers crossed that we get to fly on some sort of hovercraft on Coruscant or something. So another big change, there is now going to be stores with different currencies that you can have. There are going to be a lot of customization options and just different types of things that you can buy. So now while we're out exploring and doing missions, we have to keep an eye out on managing our currencies and farming different currencies. And since we're on the topic of different merchants and currencies, it kind of brings me into the next point, which is all the different customization options. You can change your outfits, your jackets, you can change the clothing that's underneath your jacket, you can change the colors of your individual jacket or your pants, and you can even customize Cal's hair and his beard. So there's definitely way more customization options in Jedi Survivor than there was in Fallen Order. I haven't been this excited for a Star Wars game in years. We just haven't had very many Star Wars games as of late, and this is definitely going to scratch my Star Wars itch.